Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. It is a rather gloomy Sunday afternoon, late afternoon, early evening here in South Africa, and apologies for my absence yesterday. I did record yesterday. I'd recorded one video, was busy uploading it, and halfway through the second one I was in a bit of a scramble because we were going out, and ding dong, as I was halfway through the second one and the people had arrived early we were going out with, and that was that. I hadn't managed to upload the first video, couldn't finish the second one, and so I decided to bin them, even though they were very interesting readings, and redo them today. So this is what's going on. Same topics as yesterday, and just 24 hours later, and it'll be interesting for me as a reader to see what energy comes through today and how the readings might tally and how they might differ. So that's what happened to me yesterday. And before I get on with this first reading of today, I have a very serious apology to make to Delilah, who was very badly defamed on this channel a couple of days ago. I woke up in the middle of the night and thought, oh no, it wasn't Delilah. And then I fell asleep again. So a very, very heartfelt apology to poor Delilah. And let me not wander into Bible stories here on Mad World Tarot. Not my strong point. Anyway, I have the Lunar Soul Tarot out on the tarot table for this reading. And I'm going to be looking at the story that's buzzing around at the moment. And this is about the Spotify podcast. And it's fate. Archetypes. Is archetype being cancelled? Various stories have come out. First of all, the news that Spotify had laid off over 200 staff because of the failure of Meghan Markle. She was blamed, particularly the failure of Archetypes to make money, to be successful, even though it won a Gracie Award. She didn't, of course, show up to collect that award. Obviously, still traumatized from that near catastrophic car chase in New York. So that was the first news. Then we hear things like Kinsey Schofield saying that Meghan is out and about in LA busy recording for her second season. Then we get Neil Sean, who says that Spotify is restructuring the contract with Meghan. They are not going to pay her any more money, but the contract is limping along in a different form. I got that vibe in the reading that I did yesterday, just to let you know. But we'll see what comes through today. Then Candace Owens popped up and said, it's all over. Archetypes is on the chopping block. It's been cancelled. So various stories, all slightly different, but definitely it's in trouble. And so I'm going to do a Celtic cross with the Lunar Soul Tarot, and I'm going to have a look at this story and see what the energy is. We're going to read from Meghan's point of view and see what's going on, whether behind the scenes things are being restructured, what we're going to hear about it next. Does she feel badly about those 200 plus people who lost their jobs? What pressure she's under, all of that kind of stuff. An outcome card will be, is this the end for Archetypes, or is it going to go on undaunted? And get a little bit more energy into these cards, a little bit more energy into me. It's suddenly got very cold. We've got some wild weather heading our way in the next few days. You might have to survive the sound of the rain lashing down again. Come on, they're not jumping for me. There we go. I'm using different cards to the ones that I used yesterday for exactly the same reading. And one more. And as I shuffle and as I lay out the Celtic cross, let's remember that this is just tarot for entertainment purposes. All my opinion, all speculation. And we read on energy here, archetypal energy, because of course the royal family is the archetypal family. And as I always say on this channel, we can learn from archetypes, as Meghan herself is so eager to tell us. And disclaimer in the box below. I've got Fluffy sleeping here in a chair near me, so if you hear odd snores, not me, it's Fluffy. And there we go, more or less visible. We'll fiddle around with the cards and get them lined up properly as we go. We've got the unusual extra card in this tarot deck, one of the extra ones anyway, extra major arcana. It's Wu Wei. It's going with the flow. Jumping in the river taking you wherever the river wants to take you. That's interesting. It's not, to me, very Meghan Markle energy, just surrendering to the process, surrendering to whatever universe wants to happen to you. But perhaps she's being forced to learn some life lessons. We're all forced to learn life lessons here on this teaching planet. Maybe she's learning some as well about not always being the one trying to shape things, but allowing universe in some cases to shape her. Curious energy, I have to say. We'll see why we've got that out, hopefully, as we go on. Situation from Meghan's point of view right now. 5 of Wands. Ooh, lots of conflict around this. Lots of people arguing about it. Lots of people not happy. People also trying to seize... not the initiative, but claim the glory for things. With the 5 of Wands, it's always about jostling for position, and I'm better than you, and I get more credit for things. It's that kind of energy, and we have had conflict in the past. Producer, one in particular, who popped up every now and then and claimed that it was all her hard work that had been appropriated by Meghan Markle. And that is the energy of this 5 of Wands. Conflict around this is not a happy situation. And Meghan probably trying to push this thing through and get another season out of Spotify. And Spotify possibly saying, not really. But so conflict. And what in particular is the problem? Crossing card here, we got the Page of Cups. That is the energy of it's communication, it's pleading. That card was the underlying energy of yesterday's reading, and never mind, I'm going to refer to it. You can believe me or not. But the Page of Cups, it was this energy of almost begging and pleading for something. And I think this is what's going on. I think she's pleading her case and saying, just give me another chance. I can learn, I can do better. I can appeal to more people. The Page of Cups is very much about appealing to people, but from quite a junior position, not very influential. She's not influential. She would like to be, but Page of Cups is not. Almost begging. Not quite there, but almost. What's going on behind the scenes with the contract? Has it been renegotiated? We got Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is quite a fast and furious energy. Somebody who might be moving on. And you might get somebody in Spotify who is saying, I'm leaving, I'm getting out of here. I'm going off for greener pastures. It could even be Meghan. And again, I've got the energy of the other reading sitting with me as I'm doing this reading. And there was an indication in that reading that she might find another home for Spotify, or try to find another home for Spotify, for Archetypes, I beg your pardon. Just as she's trying, allegedly, to find a new home for Pearl, which was rejected by Netflix. There is this energy here of, oh, well, if you don't like it, I'm off. I'm going to look for better. It's a very much a Leo energy, the Knight of Wands. As you can see, she is a Leo, of course. Very dynamic, very purposeful, not easily put down, not easily discouraged. If you don't like it, if I've got 5 of Wands here and I'm having to beg almost, not quite, but almost, I'm off. I'll take it somewhere else. What's her focus right now? Her focus is Queen of Wands. That's herself in reverse. This has been a dent in her armor. Similar energy yesterday. I got Ace of Cups in reverse yesterday in that position. Queen of Wands in reverse is somebody who's very upset, very angry at how she's being treated, as she's not being acknowledged, she's not being regarded, she's not being praised, and all of that. Lots of drama around the Queen of Wands in reverse, tantrums, throwing things. I'm being, of course, I'm speculating and just talking about the energy of the Queen of Wands in general as a card. But that's kind of fiery energy, but the fire is a bit gone out. So she might be feeling aggrieved, a sense of grievance that's coming through here, that there isn't enough acknowledgement, praise, notice, spotlight on. The Queen of Wands wants that spotlight. Hasn't happened, and she was expecting it to happen. So she's got her work cut out. There is this I'm off energy. I'm angry. I'm not being acknowledged. I'm not getting the attention that I deserve, the notice and the praise that I deserve. There could be consequences for people. There could be, with that Queen of Wands in reverse, what's happened in the recent past. What's happened in the recent past is Three of Swords in reverse. That's a devastating card either way, whether it's up or down. It's heartache, betrayal, treachery, I think a falling out of whoever she was cozying up to in Spotify, in the organization itself. Three of Swords in reverse, a very bad falling out. I don't take it as trying to recover from that Three of Swords energy, trying to get over the heartache. I take it as if this is very serious, a very serious blow to her credibility, to her pride, to her sense of herself. Very disappointed in the way she's been rejected. She was highly criticized for her podcasts. Nobody thought they were much good, even though she did get that award in rather curious circumstances. One can speculate as to how she got that award, but she's disappointed, and they at Spotify are disappointed. There's three parties involved here that at some level, to my thinking, have been disappointed. Could be producer, could be Meghan, could be Spotify, or the person at Spotify who signed her up. All of them have fractured, have fallen out. There's been a big drama in the background in the recent past. It has not gone well. This is why she's licking her wounds. She's angry, she's upset. It's why there's this conflict, why this I'm out of here attitude. And this difficulty for her, the Page of Cups is very difficult energy for her, because it means humbling herself. Not her strong point. Not the Queen of Wands' strong point. What is going to happen next? We have got the Hanged Man in reverse. Somebody coming out of limbo here. Somebody who has been unable to act, finally getting going. It could be this I'm out of here attitude. I'm off somewhere else where they like me more, they value me more, and they give me more freedom to do what I want to do. Possible with the Hanged Man in reverse. But it just means getting going again. I think that this whole thing has been on hold while all of this rumbling and arguing and stuff has gone on in the background. That people have been fired. Meghan has been told, allegedly, we're not going to pay you anymore. We're cutting costs. We're doing whatever we're doing. Everybody's arguing. Everybody's upset. But in the coming days, I think it's going to get back on track somewhere and somehow. Very similar energy that came through yesterday. So I'm pretty confident that this reading we're in the right energy for the Spotify thing. She's out of this period of limbo, of not being able to act. She's probably back going around trying to get people to come on to her podcast and talk to her, trying to get producers on it. I think she had something ridiculous like 28 producers for the previous season. But back on track and stopping feeling guilty, punished, martyred. I'm getting a lot of guilty, punished, martyred energy over there with the Queen of Wands in reverse. Very odd energy for Meghan. And we're going to follow through on that energy here with this particular card. I want to know in this card, please, how does she feel about the 200 plus people who lost their jobs directly, according to the newspapers and the reporting on the story, directly according to the flop of Archetypes Season 1? How does she feel? Six of Wands, she doesn't really care. She doesn't care. It's not her strong point, caring about other people's misfortunes, allegedly. So Six of Wands, she's like, I'm going to make this thing work. It's the same energy, apparently, that she's demonstrating with Pearl. She's not giving up. She's not quitting, even though it's been dumped by Netflix and they told her it's rubbish. And I'm just paraphrasing and making it up. She's determined that she's going to win with the Six of Wands. This is going to triumph, and you will see later on, you lot who got the heave-ho from Spotify and are turning around and blaming me. I'm a winner. I'm victorious. I'm going off on my lion over there. The sun is in the distance there. It's going to shine very brightly on me in future because I'm brilliant. I'm brilliant. What pressure is she under? Not so much of this energy coming through, I just have to say, with that and that and that. not so much. Perhaps that's the lesson that universe would like her to learn. And in the previous reading, I got the Hierophant as you have to learn a lesson here, girl. But it's not coming through in this reading so far. But that energy, curious. What pressure is she under? King of Cups. This is to be more relatable to people. She wasn't in Archetypes. I couldn't bring myself to listen because I very sensitive hearing. As a musician, as a musical person, I have very sensitive hearing, and the voice grates, and that's putting it very mildly. So I couldn't listen. I had to read transcripts of it. But she didn't come across as being emotionally relatable. The stories that she told, she always tells the same stories about her childhood and tries to make it out to be much worse than it was. It was a blessed childhood. Yes, her parents were separated. Yes, she had to go and live with daddy. But it really wasn't that bad compared with the possible childhoods she could have had. And so not relatable. She's going to have to become more empathetic, more compassionate, more sharing emotions, genuine emotions. She's going to have to come across as more genuine. That's tricky. Queen of Wands in reverse to King of Cups upright. Quite a journey. Quite a journey. Her hopes and fears for this precious podcast of hers, for Archetypes. And we got the Empress in reverse. She's worried about this. She's worried big time. There's a bit of an Oprah energy here, but a pregnant Oprah, of course. The Empress is the mother. But the Empress is also about being appreciated, about being valued, about being adored and worshipped even. Interesting that the Oprah Oprah energy has come through in this card, because there are rumblings that Meghan is being groomed to be the next Oprah. The rumblings pop up every now and then. I'm quite sure that I've done a reading on it. The story popped a long time ago. Story popped up again recently. It's in my book of readings that I never get to because something happens every day, whether it's a bicycle gifted to an invisible child or whatever, or a copy of Spare left on a flight to LA. I mean, can you imagine that in your hand luggage? Copies of Spare that you can scatter around, and like very heavy confetti wherever you go. But the Empress is Oprah. This is her Oprah moment. She's obviously trying to prove herself with this podcast. I'm worthy of my own chat show. It's a recurring theme, as I say, story that keeps rumbling along in the background. She's worried she's not going to do it. She's not going to succeed. This is very Oprah energy. Oprah was always emotional, and people would cry, and everybody tugged at the heartstrings. Emma. What's her name? I'm getting Ellen and Oprah and Meghan all mixed up, and now it's come out as Emma. Next, I'll be telling you a wrong Bible story. The Empress, she's got to somehow appeal to people. She's got to be attractive to people, and she's worried she's not going to pull it off. She's worried it's not going to thrive and prosper, this podcast. That is going to be a flop. It's not going to grow. She might also be worried that she's not, she doesn't have enough ideas. She's not a naturally creative person. She does like to plagiarize. It's been proved over and over again. She's lifted from very famous quotes from very famous people, and I think she might be worried that without these 28 producers and all the backing that Spotify gave her the first time round, she's not going to be able to come up with the goods. That's a big worry, a very big worry, because it has consequences more than just for this podcast. It has consequences for her future as a chat show host, and hostess sounds a bit dodgy, like she might be sailing the seven seas again. And also there is talk that Oprah might suddenly become a political appointee, a sort of temporary placeholder in California, if I'm reading the situation correctly. So it might be important to keep in with Oprah when Oprah gets that big job, possibly waiting if something happens to Dianne Feinstein. There it is. So lots going on with that card. That's a very important card. And I think the reason why ding dong yesterday and interrupted and it didn't get to upload, that you might have seen it hovering briefly and then I just deleted it, is this. This is the reason that we are here today, ladies and gentlemen. Outcome for this podcast. outcome is the Seven of Cups. The delusion is strong with this one. She's not going to let it go. I had a very similar outcome last time I did this reading. It's a glum face in this card, interestingly. It's not a happy face. Looking at all the things, the possibilities. She's going to bang on with this thing. Regardless of the setbacks. She's going to believe it's possible. She's going to believe that this is her destiny and her future and the thing that she was born to do. Deluded, carrying on with the self-deception, and even though she's free to get on with it seemingly in the near future, it doesn't look good. This is not a success card. If I got that one, Six of Wands up there, I'd say, oh wow, get ready for the next Gracie Award. But this is more like telling herself that she's doing brilliantly, and everyone else is avoiding her and sidling away and changing their phone numbers and that kind of thing. So a lot of delusion over there. Very interesting card, this going with the flow energy. Lesson, because the lesson is not being learned here by the subject of this reading, Meghan herself, in my opinion. This is, of course, all just my opinion. The lesson is to surrender, to go where you're your natural fit. This is not her natural fit. This is not what she's meant to be doing. And she may very well have a purpose that is a divine purpose that she was born to do. But she's trying to stuff those feet into a glass slipper and not succeeding. There we are. That's the reading, round 2 of the reading, like season 2 of the podcast. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to get on with the next one now.